Greetings, Lightworkers. This is Ashtar Commander. Much continues to happen around your world. The globe is caught in a strange conundrum. On one hand, it is able to openly say that the monies needed to begin both the numerous humanitarian programs and the final stages of the prosperity packages have been approved for funds transfers. Yet the recent coming and going of the business world's first quarter have created a situation that led to another week's delay in the transfer operations. These conditions are totally unacceptable. This worldwide process cannot be hindered by old-time business practices of either the banks or the many allied financial corporations. Despite these same old forms of delay, the required monies are ultimately to be transferred. There is now a series of alternatives that can be applied to resolve any future difficulties of this sort. We look to our earthly allies to use this new system to quickly permit these large sums to be successfully moved from Asia to any other continents as required. Therefore, the things so far encountered are to be put aside, and the much-needed wealth sent on its way. The start of this process is now underway. As you receive your first funds, be ready to spring into action. Within your community, there are those who deeply wish for you to succeed. Contact these individuals and see how your plans interface with theirs. The purpose of these funds is to help you and your community to achieve goals. Never forget this. You are working with others to create healing centers, to forge mutually acceptable means to move your community forward, and to demonstrate how, together, you are forging a new reality. As all of this occurs, you are readying the infrastructure to better your community and indirectly prepare it for first contact with us. Our mentors are to finish the task of letting each of you obtain a better understanding of your personal path to full consciousness. This procedure, when looked at with the broader view in mind, paints a picture of how you are to be readied for your final necessary steps to full consciousness. These things help us to realize how your due diligence is finally to make possible what heaven is now so graciously accomplishing. This heavenly movement is so perfectly timed that you can easily observe how each of you is moving forward with a wondrous rhythm. Not only are you doing so, but the same is true for each ecosystem so beautifully maintained by Gaia. We have daily observed how you are changing and can also see similar patterns within the diverse biosphere of Mother Earth. The dark forces has so far just dented this diverse set of ecosystems. Gaia, with our assistance, has kept even the most devastated system working. Here, your help combines with our more indirect assistance to keep life on your world moving forward. What is needed is for you to vastly increase your more direct aid to these varied ecosystems. What you are doing is helping both these numerous life zones and your fellow humans. These projects allow Gaia to work at a pace that mirrors your progress to full consciousness. Thus, this realm is changing at the pace set by heaven to introduce a new realm. This new realm can, at the appropriate moment, merge into the higher one found in inner Earth. These changes thus have a divine timetable that is set daily by heaven. We are made aware of these daily resets and use our medical and geological teams to verify what is actually happening. As this Gregorian year moves forward, we check its progress against charts that we have compiled since we first arrived en masse at the start of the decade of the 90s. Heaven has set a series of rhythms that are still mirroring each other. We are watching one of these, which we first chose after the time of 9/11. It has consistently shown us insights to move this surface realm toward a time when the needed merger of inner and surface worlds can truly happen. This is to occur after you have traveled with our help to Agartha and been put in your personalized crystal light chamber. This time is only to be revealed to you as it happens. We are closely observing how heaven is moving this grand set of patterns with a very gracious hand. Our task is simply to follow this grand pattern and act upon certain items designated by heaven's numerous grand councils. Blessings, we are your ascended masters. What is happening on your realm is a great shift from the dark reality of the dark forces to the new light realm of heaven. We feel blessed, after millennia, to finally participate in the great reordering of your consciousness. Atlantis deeply desired to turn its former dissidents into docile servants of the ruling oligarchy. Instead, these newly minted humans were thrust into a world largely devoid of its former inhabitants. Therefore, for 13 millennia, we all suffered under the harsh rule of the Anunnaki and their chosen minions. Now, in this time, you are starting to escape the fate long considered inevitable by the dark. Instead, you are being liberated and are shortly to be thrust back into full consciousness. We are part of the operations that are initially to prepare you for this wondrous journey by teaching lessons on your true history and off-world origins. These are to be combined with some deep mentoring by your off-world cousins. There is, moreover, a need to learn about your many responsibilities and duties to Gaia and her numerous life zones. Here, we as a group intend to teach you many things. You first need to understand what all of this is intended to mean to your companions, and especially to your wondrous soul. Heaven is moving this reality toward a state where this can be greatly altered. As you are moved upward in consciousness, you begin to notice quick flashes from your future realm. This is all a test created to slowly make you aware of how swiftly you are being changed. It has to be done at a rate by which those things happening to you are not undertaken either too quickly or too slowly. Each of you has a natural rhythm that needs to be honored. We masters play a part by assisting each of you during this transitory time. This requires the proper amount of grace applied and mercy added to what can surely transpire. This deep concern is part of a sacred process that contains elements of prayer and sacred rites. The overall degree of change is immense. We are given the sacred responsibility to shepherd you and permit you to make it to the last step. This requires that we seek operational procedures from our sacred guides in heaven and confer with our gracious hosts, the Agarthans. This is what we do daily, along with prayers and sacred ceremonies. We masters are determined to see all of you fulfill your life contracts and become fully conscious beings again. The moments lived in this present reality are a great degradation, as well as a great hall of lessons. It is time to rise up a new reality. It is time to see the fruits of your new growth and to witness how you are to forge the way to this new reality. Great progress is being made to get your blessings to the correct bank accounts. The dark has continued to try to delay this operation, and it has mostly failed. A number of key developments did nevertheless occur. China began the process of moving to a gold standard with the announcement of the gold yuan in Shanghai. The young royals in Europe approved the shift of vast sums of monies, and the ancient families in China transferred a number of last remaining gold depositories into their final positions. As you see, the final preliminary steps needed to deliver your blessings are accomplished, as provided by a series of special agreements signed by all treaty nations last spring. All is currently on a divine timeline, and our fleet is watching this complex set of actions closely. We expect that all of the required procedures are to be completed in a timely way. Until then, be patient and know that many of these funds still require some additional steps to be finalized. The dark is finally on the ropes, and their long reign is just about over. Your victory is in sight. As we watch all of this transpiring, we return to those who are mostly forgotten in this long and evolving process. We thank all of those who, over the past few decades, have set up a small but nevertheless successful cooperative network. This network is serving throughout Africa, Latin America, and Asia as the core for funneling monies and ideas to the most rural and often ignored parts of this globe. Your courage is not forgotten by our earthly counterparts or by us. We thank, too, all those who kept up a number of seemingly impossible legal cases that are now beginning to bear fruit. These teams of magnificent volunteers are finally to be paid for their services by us and their incredible legal abilities acknowledged by the dark. These immense efforts were completed under some very violent threats, and many that we cannot as yet name are victims of the last vestiges of a long list of unrelenting violence. This is now near an end. The new Republic for America is close at hand, and a number of grand surprises are ready to manifest as well. What is now happening is a joint action that at first required that we develop a sense of trust in each other. The ancient families, and especially the royals, had become used to a sort of conspiratorial atmosphere that encouraged a rather long period filled with mistrust. It has taken nearly 2 decades to gain their trust. We also ran into the arrogance and stupidity of the dark forces. This group truly believed that their dictatorship was to last forever. Hence, they saw us as just another group that was eventually to succumb to their directives. This set of beliefs ended when we closed their many underground bases and showed them who we really are. This frightened them and caused the dark forces to be initially defensive, with regard to our first divine messages from heaven. So, as you can see, the first impression of us for these various light groups was of distrust and a sense of overall fright. These first impressions ended when we turned to the Ascended Masters and the Agarthans for advice. Our next set of interactions received an entirely different set of reactions. Those individuals who began to have confidence in us forged the courageous policies of the secret sacred societies. Slowly, these various groups of dedicated individuals began to trust us. After a decade of close workings with many of them, our advice is now honored, and the great strides made in the last few years are a direct result of this coalition. We built, moreover, a huge main base next to the Agarthan capital, and began to hold detailed planning sessions there. The Grand Council of Agartha and the Ascended Masters attended with many of the leaders of these sacred secret societies. This rapport was further extended because of the exciting results created by these numerous meetings. We are presently assured that our main divine purpose to come here is being honored, and its success is leading to your full liberation from your former masters, the dark forces. We fully expect to see many miraculous things begin shortly. Hosanna! Hosanna! Namaste. We are your Ascended Masters. We come on this joyous date to inform you that various blessings are currently in the last phases of delivery. Soon, these blessings are to be with you. Things that the dark has employed to block these funds are gone. Thank heaven and its glories for this. We are shortly to enter an age where these dark rapscallions are no longer in evidence. These particular rogues are to be arrested, and a new republic is to be declared, first in America and then in the rest of this divine globe. These events have taken longer than expected. We thank all of you for your continued vision and deep spiritual support of our joint efforts. Gaia is also most pleased with how you have kept this grand vision going, despite all the frustrations that you have encountered. Many wonderful things are coming your way. Be ready for a plethora of magnificent blessings from heaven and her heavenly helpers. It is important that you realize just how powerful you truly are. One of the key aspects of this long process is for you to acknowledge from within that your vision is now coming true. The dark sees this from you when your ancestors were first dropped haphazardly into limited consciousness. It initially created a wall between your two primary aspects, the spiritual and the material self. This division created a panic, and in this special moment, you gave your incredible powers away to others. This is a time when you are to be able to produce a means, find a way to begin to take back these personal abilities. As you practice your daily envisioning, you are slowly starting to manifest these lost personal powers. As you receive these blessings and the minions fade from your environment, these lost abilities can begin to emerge. This is to continue as you realize your vision and begin a dialogue with your chosen mentors. We are also to be a part of this mental and spiritual process. You are to get a better understanding of this as you practice the various ceremonies that you are daily to participate in. These are to be reviewed by your mentor and by us. We expect this to take longer than originally anticipated. You are eventually to reach a point where you can start to see how this is all coming together. When you achieve your initial aha moments, you then need us, mentors and masters, to counsel you and prepare you for the last necessary steps. Once this is done, you are to be ready for your time in the crystal light chambers. At this moment, we need to fully assess this realm and invoke the last ceremonies required to move this globe to the point of its final transformation. A final timetable is then to be arranged and strictly followed by all. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Today we continued our weekly reports on what is happening. These reports are nearing a glorious end. A point is coming when the Sacred Nine of Aion can address you and make a series of most important announcements. Until then, we are to continue with these weekly letters. Know, dear ones, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of heaven are indeed yours. So be it.